All right, right now we're gonna go forward here. We're gonna go forward. When it comes to being a boss, there's bigger bosses here. They're gonna come forward here. Now the panel is gonna talk about the real estate earners. Make some noise, make some noise, make some noise for them.
Yep.
There's level to this, there's level. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Absolutely, absolutely. As they come forward here, yeah, we have
VIP.
some VIPs who did not get the complimentary bowl. So is it Kitlin? If you're still here, please go get some food. Nicole, please come on, get some food. You don't want to miss this out. And I believe KAI, please get some food, get some food as the high earners come forward here. Indeed, indeed, indeed. Come on, keep it going one more time for them, y'all.
Look, so I just want to make an announcement, and I waited all day to open to this. I just want to be honest. This is no disrespect to anyone at all. No one sponsored this event. Not one person. Not one bank. You see a bank up there because the last event they sponsored, and I saved my money. I said I'm using the backdrop again. And this is real because, as the Queen Sheena said, it got harder for people to sponsor, or they try to cut your lifeline. And so I understood what Boston While Black was going through, and my ego kicked in. I was like, oh yeah, watch this. I'm gonna have that Boston While Black energy, and I'm gonna speak for them. I'm gonna do an event on my own with community. We did this. They didn't stop Boston While Black. They're not gonna stop this. So getting their money is an extra. But I guarantee you, if they don't give any funds, Thumbprint will always have your back. I just had to say that.
Thank you, thank you. All right, y'all, are we ready? We are gonna talk real estate for high earners. All right, we have our last panelist joining us. I will start off by introducing. All right, I'm going to start off by introducing myself. I will be the moderator for this discussion. My name is Stacy Nwachuku. I am one of Thumbprint's real estate advisors. I specialize in new construction. And I am joined here with these lovely panelists who I'm going to have introduce themselves. We're going to start with Mr. Davis.
My name is DeMark Davis. I'm actually the first agent of Thumbprint Realty. For those of you guys who didn't know, I'm the OG here.
One of the OGs, guys.
But yeah, I'm a full-time day trader and mentor and investor. And I'm from Jamaica, for those of you guys who can't tell.
I'm Jessica Morrison. I'm a real estate advisor with Thumbprint Realty. And like I mentioned before, earlier in the panel, I specialize in helping multifamily investors maintaining their investment and expanding their wealth.
My name is Jeff Nelson. I'm a senior loan officer with Movement Mortgage. I'm also a real estate investor. And my goal is to help families make, generational wealth and become millionaires through real estate.
All right, we got a power team up here. Let's jump right into it. Jeff, first question is for you. You work with high earners all the time. So can you tell us what loan products exist for this specific income level that most people never hear about? And why are lenders not leading with them?
I'll start with the why lenders are not leading with them. Every bank's made different, so they have different portfolios of loan products that they have. And some banks might have more, some banks not have. Also, they require more work. They require more strategies. Some people are just paper pushers, and some people are strategists, right? So I'm trying to make sure that anyone who comes to my door, I have a solution for you, and I have opportunities for you. Some programs that help high earners that I love to utilize, one of them is called asset depletion. Earlier, if you were here all day long, thank you for being here. We talked about some self-employed people, and sometimes they don't show enough income. They made a lot of money, but they're not showing a lot of income on their taxes. but they also now have a lot of assets. Where with the asset depletion, I'll look at your retirement accounts, I'll look at your bank accounts, I'll look at your 401ks, and then I will I will go 60 months out. Say you have a 1.5 million. I actually have a client right now that just went under contract on a beautiful two-family that she's going to turn into an Airbnb. She has about $1.5 million in assets, right? I was able to use that as her income. I was able to use that for 60 months. On the tax returns, she's showing a negative loss of $500. So she's not qualifying for traditional financing. Because of the asset depletion, she now is showing, I think, $19,000 a month that I can utilize for her. So now it allows her to get that property with a low down payment option for her without showing any income on the books. That's for high earners that way. We talked about, or if you were here earlier, we talked about the bank statement loans where I look at your deposits over a 24 or 12 month window, and I can give you an average of that as well too. Another program I like, this is really popular. I have a traveling nurse right now. It's called a 1099 loan, where with traveling nurses, they'll make a lot of income. They'll make, they'll go on a contract, get a $200,000 contract, take a couple months off, get another $100,000 contract, take a couple months off. With all the stoppage in income, that becomes a variable income person. So the bank is going to look at, hey, you're not consistent, you're not stable. Also, if you just started becoming a traveling nurse, there's not stability there. So they're going to discredit a lot of that income because it's not stabilized, where I can look at all those contracts that you received. There was a $200,000 contract, there's a $100,000 contract. I can average all of those up where you get full credit for it and you can still qualify. So I get a lot of people who come to me because that bank said no, and I find a solution for how I can say yes.
Thank you, Jeff. So in other words, we need to send business to you because you're going to take care of them no matter what. So just to build on that, an extension of that question, high earners often have complex incomes, as you mentioned. So there are bonuses, RSUs, commission, multiple streams, essentially. So how do lenders look at that, and what do buyers need to prepare?
That's a great follow-up question. I kind of alluded to it, some of that. We need to see stability of that consistency. If you have overtime income, bonus income, and you just received it this year, well, we need to have history of that so we can utilize that. Because the bank is going to hedge risk, right? You're coming to me so I can lend you hundreds of thousands of dollars. I want to know what you had for breakfast. I want to know your baby's name. I want to know everything about you so I can sustain that risk. So that's what they're going to look like. So, hey, if you're accounting that bonus, if you're accounting that overtime income, if you're accounting these contracts and you don't have a history of receiving that, it makes it a little bit difficult for you. So making sure, we talked about it in other sections and it's been kind of a recurring theme, be prepared, have your documents, know your profile, right? Remove the blindfold for the bank and yourself so you can actually get into strategies versus just a standard blueprint or foundation pieces.
That's so good. And Jessica, would you mind adding on to that?
I mean, he kind of covered it all, basically. Yeah, we were just talking downstairs about a client. But yeah, just being prepared and making sure, especially with the variable income, that you find solutions or find a lender that can help you find solutions. And Jeff, he's helped me so much. I have a lot of clients that deal with variable income, and he's been a great asset to that.
I love that. I love that. So, Jess, this one's for you. What should high earners know about luxury rentals as an investment strategy in this market right now? And what mistake do most people make when they're trying to get into that space?
I'll start with the mistake. I think the mistake is the getting caught up in the aesthetics and making an emotional investment versus looking at the numbers. So buying the right property in the right location is key. So it could completely change the trajectory of what you're trying to do, your plan, what you're trying to get into. So really analyzing the market, not just what's going on currently, but what can happen in the future. So analyzing the job market, analyzing the rental demand of that, because that is where you're gonna find if you're gonna have a lot of resident retention. but also understand when you're getting into luxury rentals and you're getting into luxury rental investment, you have to make sure that you are able to sustain the product. You know, it comes with a lot of higher expectations. So things that you may not be able to manage yourself. So don't be afraid to hire a team, really get into property management and making sure that you're staying on top of the demands of what these residents are going to be looking for, because that's going to be how you sustain that investment.
To add to that too, you're also dealing with hospitality as well too, right? So you're not just an investor, but you're a hospitality, manager as well. You want to keep that attraction to it, and you want a history of getting those type of incomes or that quality income or the market rents saying that if this is a new area that just got caught fire for Airbnb and it's been like that for a year, but there's no data that's going to sustain this, then it may not be the best fit for you.
That's so good. And actually, I wanted to add on to that. Jessica, you mentioned getting caught up in the aesthetics of luxury rentals. And I just thought to get a little personal for a second. So it hit close to home for me. I actually live in a luxury rental building, and I was very strategic about that decision. It was less about being able to buy and more so about being intentional about what I buy and when. And so I say that to say that there are two sides to every coin, right? Living in a luxury rental, for those who don't know, if there are people who live in luxury buildings, raise your hand. Am I the only one? Yeah, there's a few of us in here. You pay for the convenience. There are amenities at your fingertips that you enjoy. But at the end of the day, the other side of the coin is not building something for yourself, not owning that equity. And so I just wanted to lead with that. Knowing what you want at different seasons in your life is important. And so for me, building equity when I arrive at that place definitely matters a lot. And so
I want to piggyback back off of that because there's nothing wrong with that mindset. It's just with that, have a plan. You know, sometimes most of the times when you are renting in a luxury area, you are paying exponentially less than if you owned in that area. So really taking advantage of that area that you're in and creating a plan to basically diversify the money that you do have to then invest it somewhere where you can actually build wealth. So there's nothing wrong with that, just making sure that you take advantage of the areas that you're in, and really just maximize on the quality of life that you're living currently.
absolutely, yes. As a single person, it is definitely something that's convenient for me right now. But there will come a time, and I think I'm approaching that season where I am getting more intentional about building equity for myself. So I think that that's really great for you to mention on that. Moving forward, this question is building off of that statement. What are the biggest mistakes that high-income buyers make that actually cost them more money in the long run?
I would say just not having a plan, not having a team, not really, doing your research, not creating a plan. If you are looking to really do, a luxury rental or get into luxury buying, you want to make sure that you set in place a plan. What's your 5-year plan? Like, what's your exit strategy? A lot of people don't have an exit strategy. They don't have a what's going to happen next. They also don't do the research. Yeah, exactly. Shiny object syndrome.
Right.
They see something, and right now it might be a hot ticket item, but in 5 years, what does that market look like? What does the area that you're buying in look like? Is it in high demand? What is the rental demand? And really doing the research or working with professionals that are able to help you with that research before you get into that investment.
Working with the right professionals that are going to help you plan for tomorrow. That's it. So moving on, DeMarc, we're coming to you. For a high earner who wants to diversify beyond real estate, how does currency trading fit into a wealth building strategy, and where do they actually start? You're a specialist in this.
Sure. So first off, trading is a high leverage skill set, and it shouldn't be considered as something that replaces real estate investing. Because
Right.
we all know for real estate, this is where we build equity, right? And we know the power of real estate for taxes and everything else. And I've been on all different sides of it. I've been a real estate agent, I've been a landlord, I've been an investor,
You've
and
done it
now
all.
like an entrepreneur, right? So we know the power of real estate, but trading is a cash flowing vehicle that outperforms a lot of real estate properties, right? For example, one of my trades, like last Friday, I made $5,000, right? And this was in like 15 minutes. Jay, were you in that trade? Okay, so I trade live every morning. So $5,000 in 15 minutes. My property was a 3-family home in Mattapan, right?
Yep.
Beautiful home, and I was making around 4,000 max per month. So when you look at a comparison, you can't compare 5 grand in 15 minutes
Yeah.
to that property. But when I sold that property, I made around $500,000. Alex can confirm. So when you look at it, I can use this cash flowing vehicle to now purchase more assets to build my wealth, right, long term. So a lot of high income earners look at trading as something where they can get rich quick. They can come in and make a lot of money. Yes, the money's there, but you should look at it as something that can help you build more income. So you can go to somebody like Jet and get qualified for a property. Like I just got qualified for $1.5 million to purchase a property, right? Not with trading income, from another business. So it's good to have these different vehicles to produce cash flow so you can go buy more real estate because you can't build wealth without owning property.
Yeah.
Right? I wouldn't recommend building anything outside of real estate as your long-term investment. Yes, stocks are good, but you know what the market is. But when you have a physical asset that you can say, yo, I own that, and it appreciates, that's how I recommend going about it.
That's so good.
Kind of want to add to that. As I spoke about the asset depletion, you can use your stock funds as well as crypto to help you go get approved for more properties.
There you go.
All right. So
What would you say, DeMarc, what would you say is the ideal mindset that a person needs to have when going into this?
So the mindset, I would say, is the very most important aspect, right? Like, you have to really believe in yourself. And I know that we use this widely. Like, hey, believe in yourself when you want to do something. But if you truly believe in yourself, you wouldn't worry about failing, right?
Right.
Because everybody is scared. Like, for example, they say, hey, come speak on stage. Oh, my God, I'm scared of everybody here. You have to believe in yourself first.
Yeah.
And if you believe that you can't fail, then you're already moving on the path to success. Because failure is just another level to success,
That's
right?
it.
So when I go into the markets, I look at it as probability. The most that can happen is that I learn. I never lose anything, right? Because if I come in the market with nothing and I leave with nothing, I might get experience, right?
Right.
So that's an equal exchange for me. But you have to just believe that, hey, once you're learning, once you're making progress, you might not make the money. I've been doing trading for 6 years. And for somebody that I'm teaching that just started for like a month, they might start getting discouraged because they're not making anything. I have a few students here as well. Erica, shout out, right? But when you come in the markets and you see that you can make $10, I was making money way before trading from real estate. And I made $10 in the market. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I knew that the same opportunity that gave me that $10 now produces 45,000 a day. But it took a path. It took years for me to really achieve that type of success. But I already believed in myself because I'm DeMarc. I always talk to myself this way. Alex, we always have this battle of confidence, right? I tell myself, yo, I'm sexy. He's like, I'm a sex symbol, but I'm a sex symbol. So we go about like who's like more confident. But you truly have to believe in yourself. And I'm backed by the Most High, right? So I look at it that God made me in His image. And if God's perfect, I'm perfect. So there's no room for me to fail. Failure isn't even real. So you have to go about your goals looking at it like, yo, there's no room for me to fail. You might can't see the end of the journey, but just believe that you'll achieve it, and you'll achieve it. I'm a living testimony. I came from humble beginnings, and y'all know the rest. I'm balling.
Amen. Amen. So here's my last question to you, DeMarc, and it's kind of going to get in your business, but you already started. You already started. We're going to run with it, all right? So what has your model produced for you financially? You already started to talk about that. And what is one thing that a high earner needs to understand before they try to combine wealth strategies the way that you have?
Of course, great question. And the main thing is freedom, right? Financial freedom, time freedom. I travel the world a lot, right? I go all over the world, and that's because I created a system where I don't have to answer to anyone but me and God, of course, right? And I'm not in lack of financial like support. Like I have capital to do whatever I want to do. but it came from me creating systems. And then people might see that and say, you know what? I have money coming in. Let me go diversify. Let me go buy stocks. Let me go do e-commerce. Let me go do this. And that's where high income earners fail because you want to diversify, but you're distracting yourself at the same time. I would say focus on one thing that you master, that you can get that consistent income from. And then you can get the education from someone. Let's say it's trading. You go to someone like me. Let's say it's mortgages. Go to Jeff. Any professional that's here, they already have a blueprint. When I just started real estate, Alex was my very first mentor in life, right? Alex created a blueprint for real estate. So I followed suit to even the outfit that he wore, I was wearing the same thing, right? Because there's a blueprint to success.
Yeah.
So I would start off by finding a mentor in whatever field that I want to succeed in and just follow it. Because it's like a GPS. If I want to go from Roslindale to downtown, there's a set path. I don't want to go all over the world and then end up to my destination at an extremely long time that could have been avoided. So you want to have a mentor, look at the blueprint, and then follow that once you have something set in stone. Because I have other income streams as well. I have a supplement company, right? I also brought some samples for the men here. But with that, I don't have to worry about coming into the market and not finding an opportunity. I'm already getting money from different income streams before coming to the market. So there's no pressure. There's no force that I have to make money this morning.
Right.
I can wait. So I would say master one thing and make sure that your income is secured. And then you can work on scaling. Then you can work on improving that. And then over time, you'll get to where you want to be.
That's so good. That's so good. Can we put our hands together for that? I just want to make sure that that landed with everybody. Master one thing and then move on to the next. A jack of all trades is a master of none. So before we conclude this panel, does anybody else have anything to add? Any final remarks that we want to leave the audience with?
I have one thing. Let's go back to the mindset. We can easily think about all the negative things that can go wrong, replace that with all the positive things that can go wrong. Oh, I can lose my job. The tenants won't pay me. What if your tenants pay you more, right? What if the property appreciates for more? What if I'm praying for 10,000, I get 20,000? Breathe positivity, right? Like always. I'm not broke, I'm between blessings. Change your verbiage that you speak, right? Your body doesn't know the difference between a small victory from a large victory. It just knows that you're winning, right? So you want to compound those and win. Start with your day, start with the week, take it with the month, and you got to have that grit, right? You're not trying to be average, because if it was average, it'll be easy, right? You're going above yourself, you're becoming somebody new, you're striving for something great. That requires patience, that requires grit, that requires for you to believe above anything else that you're worthy of what you're saying. If you don't believe that, then it's not going to happen. Guys can only do so much, right? He helps those who help themselves, and that's what I can say.
Amen.
And I'll add on to that. You also just want to surround yourself with people that have achieved what you're trying to accomplish. So putting yourself in uncomfortable spaces is key to growth and, really embracing the growing pains.
And for everyone here, I want to offer something special. I've never done this before, but for everyone here, I want to offer a 40% discount off all of my trading education. So if you decide that you want to learn, or if you want to just get some knowledge about trading, just reach out to me. Even if trading is not for you, I'm here to answer any questions and guide you on that path, because I know it's sexy to see that you can work from home or travel and make money, but there's a path to it. I want to be like that person just to guide anyone that needs any type of questions answered as well.
Wow. All right. Thank you so much. 40% off, guys. Thank you. I'll give this to you.
You put on a chair. Good job. You can leave it on a chair. Good job. Good job, man. You remind me of Christmas. Come here, Jeff. Jeff, come here. Come here. You got green. That's a Rolex?
No.
That is. Let me see the bottom of your shoes. You have red there? Nice. Lending is treating you well.
It's doing well.
Yeah. Congratulations. I don't look like Christmas. I don't look
You like the future mayor of Boston.
Hey,